The worst Oscar snubs. The Academy Awards failed by ignoring these great movies and performances. This article has been written by Patrick Nash. Happy Awards Season 2021. The biggest night in the film industry, the Academy Awards, is not too far off at this point, with preliminary voting already underway, and the official nominations being announced in just 1 week.
And finally, the nominees for Best Picture voted by all members of the Academy are...
The recent Golden Globes, even with all their internal misfires, gave us a general indication of what kinds of films we should expect to be recognized, with the likes of Nomadland.
One of those lucky people that can travel anywhere.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
And they sometimes call you nomads.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
I dedicate my life.
You get to go out there, talk about dying a revolutionary death.
The Trial of the Chicago 7.
We have to find some courage now.
Minari.
We need to find water somewhere. If that soil ain't wet, we're gonna lose a crop.
And Rainey's Black Bottom.
When I got there, they began to say,
appearing to be early favorites for the major awards. However, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has been known to differ from the Golden Globes and other awards shows semi-frequently, often outright snubbing plenty of worthy contenders. Here are some of the worst snubs in Oscar history. The acting snubs. Let's begin with the acting categories, which most people might be familiar with. The awards for Best Lead Actor, Actress and Supporting Actor, Actress are often controversial every year, as there are usually 1 or 2 big snubs for deserving celebrities. It's not always the biggest star who wins these categories, which usually means that a lot of huge names get overlooked in both the nominations and the awards themselves. However, this does not excuse some of the shocking snubs that have occurred within the acting categories.
Here are the nominees for a performance by an actor in a leading role.
Pre-New Hollywood Age acting snubs. In the pre-New Hollywood age, Boris Karloff was failed to be nominated for his performance as the titular monster in 1931's Frankenstein.
Take care there, Frankenstein, take care!
Gloria Swanson lost in 1950 for her legendary role in Sunset Boulevard.
I can't go on with the scene, I'm too happy.
Anthony Perkins was left off the ballot for his performance in Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 thriller classic Psycho.
I meant well.
People always mean well. They cluck their thick tongues and shake their heads and suggest oh so very delicately.
Anne Bancroft did not win for her classic role in The Graduate.
Very well, thank you.
May I have a drink?
I'll drink, of course.
And Orson Welles, Marilyn Monroe, Peter O'Toole and Judy Garland never won acting Oscars for any of their iconic performances before their deaths.
This is a moment of thrill.
Post-New Hollywood Age. Since the New Hollywood Age, we've seen the likes of Al Pacino for Dog Day Afternoon.
robbing a bank's a federal offense. They got me on kidnapping, armed robbery. They're gonna bury me, man.
Jack Nicholson for The Shining.
Does it matter to you at all that the owners have placed their complete confidence and trust in me and that I have signed a letter of agreement, a contract?
Harrison Ford for the Star Wars and Blade Runner franchises.
Sir, the possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Matthew Broderick for Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Get off of the floor! What are you doing? Thank you.
Glenn Close for Fatal Attraction.
You want respect.
Johnny Depp for Edward Scissorhands and his various collaborations with Tim Burton. Jake Gyllenhaal for Zodiac, Nightcrawler, and his work with Denis Villeneuve.
Our first new Zodiac letter in 4 years.
Michael Keaton for Beetlejuice. The entire cast of Fight Club. Edward Norton, Brad Pitt, Helena Bonham Carter, Jared Leto, and Meatloaf. Andy Serkis for his motion capture work. Michael B. Jordan for his work with Ryan Coogler. Awkwafina for The Farewell.
She's dying. Can you be a little more sensitive?
What do you want from me? To scream and cry like you?
Ah!
Christian Bale, his stuff with Nolan, Spielberg, and American Psycho.
But there is no real me, only an entity, something illusory.
Toni Collette for Hereditary. Leonardo DiCaprio for pretty much anything he's ever been in besides The Revenant, which he finally won for.
And that person's gonna be pulling up right alongside you in that brand new Porsche.
And Adam Sandler for Punch Drunk Love and Uncut Gems.
Pull. You know how that makes me feel? Never you think your life is more important than my life?
All lose or escape nomination for their performances, some of which are now revered as some of the greatest of all time. Some of these actors have fortunately won in other years, but others are still waiting on their chance, which they may never see. The High Crimes of the Best Director Oscar. This is just baffling to me. The Best Director Oscar is an incredibly coveted award at the awards every year, with so many magnificent filmmakers vying for the prize year in and year out. Yet, so many of the most well-respected directors of their times have never won the award. And the names included in this category are absolutely staggering. Orson Welles, Alfred Hitchcock, Sidney Lumet, Jean-Luc Godard, Stanley Kubrick.
Do it right now, come on.
Ingmar Bergman, Robert Altman, Federico Fellini.
Thank you, dearest Giulietta. And please, stop crying.
Howard Hawks, and Sergio Leone all passed away without ever receiving the Golden Statue for their directing work. And living legends like Spike Lee, Christopher Nolan, Terry Gilliam, David Fincher, George Lucas, Sofia Coppola, Quentin Tarantino.
Well, I just reject your hypotheses.
Ryan Coogler, Terrence Malick, George Miller, Spike Jonze.
Your safety was not very happy about that.
Ridley Scott, Mary Harron, David Lynch, Michael Mann, Ari Aster.
The films that really affected me as a kid were the ones that did not allow me to move on.
Denis Villeneuve, Wes and Paul Thomas Anderson, the Safdie brothers, Claire Denis, Tim Burton, and Ava DuVernay.
The work that you're writing that day, but that energy from people, that stuff is kind of like, seeds on fertile ground that helps with the writing.
Have also all been deprived any formal recognition, with DuVernay, Burton, the Safdies, Denis, and Gilliam having never even received a nomination. But you know who has won this award? Sam Mendes, for his chillingly creepy Kevin Spacey vehicle, American Beauty in 1999. Roman Polanski, who won for The Pianist in 2003.
And the Oscar goes to Roman Polanski.
While he was still a fugitive from the US government for raping a minor. Woody Allen, another accused sex offender who defeated George Lucas's Star Wars in 1977 for Annie Hall, and notorious racists Mel Gibson for Braveheart in 1995 and Clint Eastwood, who won twice for Unforgiven in 1992 and $1 Million Baby in 2003. It's downright despicable that so many talented artists have never been recognized, meanwhile films and people like these have. Great films ignored for Best Picture. This one might be the most shocking. The Best Picture category is essentially the single most coveted award at any show, and there have certainly been plenty of amazing winners over the years. Shakespeare in Love, Crash, and Green Book notwithstanding.
Those two. Green Book.
Yet, there have also been some earth-shattering omissions in this category. Foreign language films in particular did not see a win until Bong Joon-ho's Parasite at this past year's show, meaning that monumental movies like 8.5 and Breathless never saw appropriate recognition. The horror genre has only won once, with The Silence of the Lambs, meaning films like Hereditary, The Exorcist, The Babadook, and Rosemary's Baby feigned victory. Stanley Kubrick's greatest works, 2001: A Space Odyssey, A Clockwork Orange, and The Shining, were all ignored by the Academy, despite being often referred to as some of the most important pieces of art ever to grace the medium.
Stop swinging the bat.
Christopher Nolan was left off for Memento, The Prestige, and The Dark Knight, the latter of which caused such an uproar, along with the snub of Pixar's WALL-E that same year, to the point where Academy would later have to expand the number of nominations. And of course, the films of Orson Welles and Alfred Hitchcock never won Best Picture, essentially starting the Oscar trend of amazing talents being ignored by the Academy until well after their deaths.
Of course I love him. I gave him $60 million.
Well, of course I love him. He's the richest man in America.
Going forward, the Academy has an opportunity this year to do right by a lot of people. Sacha Baron Cohen and the late Chadwick Boseman appear poised to take home one trophy apiece. It just depends on what films they receive them for. Carey Mulligan appears to be a lock for Promising Young Woman. David Fincher is up for Best Director for Mank. Same with Spike Lee for Da 5 Bloods. And there are also plenty of diverse newcomers to the show like Chloe Zhao, Daniel Kaluuya, Emerald Fennell, Dominique Fishback, Riz Ahmed, Lakeith Stanfield, Stephen Yeun, Zendaya, as well as Shaka and Regina King, who are all more than deserving of some form of recognition. But ultimately, this will fall on the responsibility of the Academy, and if history is any indication, there will likely be at least a few upset by what they present us with.
And thank you for joining us, and watch the Oscars live on Sunday, April 25th.